This Donda 2 song only appeared on a few official track lists shown for the album, but had so many different ideas thrown at it that I'm surprised Kanye didn't put it on the stem player release. And unfortunately, because Worst Mistake was not played at the Miami listening party and not included on the stem player, the vast majority of Kanye fans have no clue just how phenomenal even the rough drafts of the song were. In this video, I'll be highlighting everything done to the song concept of Worst Mistake before it was scrapped from inclusion on Donda 2, so you guys can see just how many different hands contributed to its development. So without further ado, let's get right into it, starting with the song's earliest known evidence. Worst Mistake began its life on January 31st, 2022 as a rough freestyle that Kanye did for the song over its initial production contributed by Boy Wonder and Boogs the Beast. Honestly, among other original rough Kanye freestyles, this one he did was pretty decent and contains a lot of half-finished lines, so it's not as easy to tell how rough it is. Also, with Kanye's music making process, the more finished lines he can come up with in a rough vocal take, the easier it is for his reference writers to flesh out his ideas, which in turn greatly ups the chance that a specific song gets completed and released. So right from the start, Worst Mistake had a pretty solid foundation. And also, if you see people call this song Candyland, that's because the two original file names we have for this early Kanye freestyle have different names. One is Worst Mistake and one is Candyland, although the Worst Mistake moniker would end up sticking.
Coming on some mean shit. Fix your tone when you talk, fix your tone when you're off, fix my tone, I got off, but it's all my fault. Guess it's all my fault. If it's all my fault, it's all my fault. Guess what? It's all my fault. But this gon' be the worst one. Stay in line. Don't never forgive yourself. Finna never forgive yourself.
Following his original idea for Worst Mistake, Kanye would leave the song untouched for a few days until February 7th, 2022, when none other than Mr. Punchin himself, Dem Joints, was allowed to take a full crack at the track's concept. Dem completely overhauled the base idea for Worst Mistake, with his vision for it being split into two parts, Never Forgive Yourself and Yeah I Know, marked by a beat switch in the middle. Dem chopped up Kanye's early freestyle, basically salvaging everything useful and non-mumble, with him filling in any mumble spots with his own punch-ins. Dem would reuse his drums done on Never Forgive Yourself for the song Emergency by Khan, and he centered the beat of Yeah I Know around a sample of We Come One by Faithless. Dem chopped Kanye's vocals up so well you really wouldn't have expected the uncut freestyle to be so rough, and it's a true testament to Dem's ability as a creator to flip the idea for Worst Mistake on its head and completely do his own thing.
It's gonna be the way. Hold up. Ring, ring, shit. Talk to me on some king shit. All that talk don't mean shit. I'm Mr. I ain't never seen shit. Only say it that you mean it. I'm coming on some mean shit. So many ends, so many names and names. Bitch your tone when you talk, bitch you don't, cause it's all, you so out of pocket, I can see the holes in your car.
You will be DOA, nigga is he okay? I cannot call it. I got a grip on this shit like the handle of an alcoholic. I am a monster. I got the answer to all of the problems. Is it the
You gonna be like,
Damn, I wish you would've stayed.
yeah, I did it.
Do you want a gorilla out the cage that won't behave? Woo! And you wear Ugg boots, the wolf in you means the shit get shaved.
How we get it through custom? How you bring him with the plus one? If your friend don't look good, that could count as a plus one.
After Dem Joints, Kanye ended up going back to the original Worst Mistake production, with him giving the song to Beach House and having them do their own take on it on February 11th. Beach House used the early beat made by Boogs and Boy Wonder as a basis for their changes, and this is easily one of their more unique overhauls of any Donda 2 song. Honestly, I love the chippy modulated synth, and the new drums go stupid hard every time Beach House touches something Donda 2. I'm always amazed at what they're able to do with Kanye's previous concepts.
Bitch was jamming. I got the thumb with the Timmy, the summon, I got it with Emmy. They caught her with camera, I caught her with Cam, I caught her with Amber, I caught her with them. I make them with them, I make them with new, and the thumb with the bitch gon' be the merch, they with the name. You will never forgive yourself. Look at what you did to yourself. Doing you, cause you yourself. yourself.
Only one day later, on February 12th, Kanye would once again overhaul Worst Mistakes production with him having Boogs redo the beat. Boogs' alternate idea for the song featured a sample loop titled The Dark Web, made by producer For The Night, that he posted in a pack on waves.com. So ultimately, Boogs didn't do a ton besides sourcing the sample, but this was a one-off production idea that wasn't explored further, so I think it's okay.
Them bags from where you call the Uber. Go and get them the cab from. Get the better. I never done for a bad one. You ain't had an argument, but I swear you is the last one. This gon' be the worst mistake of your life. You never gon' forgive yourself. Look what you did to yourself.
Then on the 13th, Beach House were brought back into the picture to do another version of their own production utilizing Kanye's original Worst Mistake vocals. We only have a short 7-second snippet to go by, but it sounds like they maintained their drums and chip synth and added a new backing melody synth.
It's gonna be the worst mistake of your fucking life. You will never forget this. You will never neglect this.
Moving forward 2 days to the 15th, it seems Kanye had enough of the alternate production and needed to start ironing out his unfinished vocals. He enlisted artists Sci-Hi the Prince and Courtland Jabray to write and record a reference track over the Boogs and Boy Wonder production. Honestly, after hearing these lines, I'm not surprised Kanye dropped the Worst Mistake idea. I mean, I know Sci-Hi is old and he's contributed tons of great writing to Kanye over the years, but this is like genuine dog water. I can only imagine Kanye's reaction when he heard this reference, and again, I really think it's clear why he didn't re-record his vocals when one of his main references for the song was as bad as this.
Yeah. And tell your best friend she need to call first. Send her back to the call box, then tell her to push call first. And you ain't no model of being tall is all you got to offer. If you some eye candy, you a jerk chicken starburst. Yeah, jerk chicken starburst. But if she spend the night, it's a pajama jam. Praying to dear the Lord.
Too lit. Bitch, I'm too rich. Bitch, you too fine. Make me wanna fuck you 2 times. 2 times. 2 times. Nigga might cross me once, but he won't cross me 2 times. Niggas ain't got 2 lives. 2 clips letting off at one time. 2 of them jiggers got me seeing double C, double G.
Courtland Jabray's vocals aren't terrible, but by far the best vocal reference was done by Shenseea, who recorded an outro idea on February 16th that would go unused. This outro is so good it can almost make up for Sci-Hi's reference, and Shenseea sounds right at home on this beat, so maybe if the song had been developed further, Kanye would have kept her as a feature vocalist.
This finna be the worst mistake of your life. You'll never forgive yourself. How you gon' forgive yourself?
Okay, so the Shenseea, Sci-Hi, and Courtland Jabray references are the last dated changes made to Worst Mistake, but there are 2 more interesting versions of the song to discuss that don't have dates. While it seems like Kanye abandoned the Never Forgive Yourself Yeah I Know concept pretty early, he at least had Fat Money record a reference over the first half of the song's beat to get a better idea of what a non-punched in finished vocal take would sound like. Remember, Never Forgive Yourself had punch-ins from Dem Joints, so it was sort of half finished, and with a reference from Fat Money, it would have only required Kanye to re-record using Fat Money's finished vocals. Unfortunately, Kanye scrapped Never Forgive Yourself in favor of Worst Mistake, so he never re-recorded.
It's gonna be the way. Hold up, ring if you ring it. Talk to me on some king shit. Pulled up on yo, it was so like a seamstress. Only said if you mean it. Don't ask me what beans get. I'm going ham, I'm going spam again. Black Wall Street, fresh out the grave. We wanna land again. Black man invented your peanut butter, but look at the jam we in.
And finally, the last notable version of Worst Mistake made features another complete instrumental reproduction from Evax, who also re-chopped Kanye's original freestyle. This is super interesting to me, and I feel like a version of Worst Mistake with Evax's changes, the original production, and the Beach House stuff all mashed up could sound insane.
Gonna be the worst mistake of your fucking life. You will never forget this. You will never forgive yourself. Where you finna get the bag from? Where'd you get it when I won? This time we're gonna last one. I need an ambulance.
So there you have it, the full and unfortunately kind of short creative development of Worst Mistakes / Candyland / Never Forgive Yourself / Yeah I Know. I found it really quite interesting that Kanye didn't choose to further develop the Dem Joints rework of Worst Mistake, considering his punch-ins made the song essentially finished had Kanye chose to re-record. I'm super curious what pushed him to scrap that and pursue the original Worst Mistake idea, because I feel like ultimately he dropped the song because it was just too unfinished. But Never Forgive Yourself was actually super close to being done. Regardless, this is a sick part of Donda 2 history, and it sucks the song wasn't played at Miami for everyone to enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and let me know down in the comments if you like the Worst Mistake or Never Forgive Yourself idea better.